In this video, I'm going to show you how to, speed paint a series of the floor tiles that we'll be using on our 30k terrain. I painted these a little while ago as a proof of concept, and I used some masking tape and got all this hatching to work. I didn't put hatching on all of them, just on some of them. So what I've done now is I've worked out if I use stencils, I can do this far more quickly because masking these takes a long time. So my goal in this video is to paint 16 of these tiles as quickly as possible, but also as well as possible. So I'm looking for quality, but I'm also looking for speed because I've got over 200, probably nearly 300 of these tiles to paint. And I want to find a quick, effective, and good way of doing it. So this is one of my stencils that I'm going to use to create the hatching. And to mask it, rather than using masking tape, I've got these sticker sheets, which I got from Amazon, which I've customized a bit with the scissors. I'm going to use them to mask what I'm doing. So I'm going to get straight on with it. I'm going to show you the technique as I go. The idea is to do this with no edits, just to prove how long it can take, or how quickly you can do it. Off we go. So I'm going to start by pointing the camera down at the tiles. I'm going to start with some black. So I don't need this to be a very, very thick coat. While I'm going, I want to get this one ready. Just to give it a bit of a prime. Ultimately, the colour is not black, it's going to be this Rune brass. Right. That was cheap matte black primer. Now I'm going to use this Mechanicus standard grey. I'm going in from a different angle now. Now I'm going to bring it to life with some of the Macragge blue. We're going to follow that up with some Death Guard green. So I'm spraying from a different angle again, this time a 45 degree from here. And the Death Guard green, I'm going to go from the other side. And the idea is for none of it to be particularly well coated, just enough to give it an undercoat. I'm now going to pop some of this on and give it some weathering. I'm going to put a little bit on with the toothbrush. But what I've learned is the sponge is better. So let's do that. I've learned you can be quite heavy with this and you're still going to get a great effect. Because what you're looking for is variety. The main thing I don't want to see is big circular splotches of paint. I think I've got most of them. I'm going to do a little bit more of this with my sponge, and I want some nice irregular shapes on here. Some are hit much more than others, but these irregular shapes are really important. There you go. Nearly there. Okay, I'd say that's enough. Everyone's probably worried that that's still wet, but once the latex is on, the paint's not going through it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark out a few areas with this wraith bone, which I'm then going to spray my, either through the stencils, or I'm going to spray my, I'm going to spray black hatching over them. I've decided to go with wraith bone rather than yellow for the hazard striping, simply because the wraith bone looks better with the brass colour that we're finishing up with. Okay, here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the wraith bone exactly where I want the hatching areas to be, but very roughly for now. So I know I want some hatching there, there. This bit in the middle, I'm going to have some there. I'm going to have a spot there and there. I'm going to have a patch perhaps there. Let's have another bit there and there. Just looking for areas that are going to work. There's one there. We'll do one there and we'll do one there. What else have we got? One in the middle there. Not every part will have this. And a bit there and a bit there. Another bit there. Sit there, a bit there. Just checking how big my circles are. Yep, they should work fine. Little bit there. Other bit there. Bit there, bit there. You can see the latex is starting to go off. So this should all work out fine. So I think this would look good with a bit of hazard striping around the edges, but I don't have the right stencils ready for that, so I'm going to do that slightly differently. Just going to check if these are good enough. I'm just going to put a tiny bit more on here and there. Again, we don't want this to be too well done. We don't want this to be too strong, because we want this to look quite weathered. We want the white and the hatching to look quite weathered. Now I'm going to go with a black. Again, just this this simple matte black, and I'm going to go for it with my stencils now. So we are going to go here, like this. We're going to go straight from above to try and make sure we get this as flat as possible onto the piece. Hey, there we go. Straight down to that. Looking good. Gonna do another bit in the middle there. We need to wet that dry. So I've got another bit of hatching here. I'm going to use the middle of this one. Not so happy with that. Never mind. Let's get this. We've got some more here. Not so happy with that one, but never mind. Go here. Enrich my lines. I'm going to put one there. Right. Smaller one again. Switching stencils because one of them is becoming a little bit wet and it's going to start to mark the pieces underneath. So let's go back here. Okay. Missed a bit there, that's not so good. Go just here. Move that away. And interfere because fun on it. Good days. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop some stickers on where I want to stay white, which is what I'm doing now. So these areas which I'm masking off are going to stay with a white mark. Then I'm going to spray on afterwards. I'm going to put a square there. What else have we got? So we've got something there which we might use. So I think, let's see if I can get some more hatching on here. I think this is going to work okay. Here we go. Bit aims. It's good. Another bit there. So this time, the hatching's a slightly different size. That's okay. And if we do this, should look quite good. A bit there. We'll switch stencils again. We'll switch to this one. Okay, let's see how we go. There we are. Okay. There's another one here. So the thing you've got to remember when you're doing this is Wargames Terrain. This is not the miniature figures we're using to play the game. So if this goes a little bit wrong, if this does not come out perfect, we are not too bothered. All right, it's gonna be okay. It's still going to be playable, and I think this is still going to look pretty good. Let's just see what happens. So this is interesting because the aspect of the angle is different to the orientation of the mold lines. So let's just see what we get if we do this. Yep, that doesn't come out too well. All right. I'm pretty happy with some of these. I'm going to need to wait a few seconds on some areas because we need the black to have gone off before we carry on, before we start masking, before we do the next stage of the operation. So I'm going to move a few of these to one side. I'm going to finish off some of the sections, and then we're going to come back to these black ones, and hopefully they'll be dry at that point. Okay, so we'll move those out of the way. We'll bring these in. So we've got them out of harm's way. And now we're going to paint these with the top coat, which is this Runewald brass. So these I can go straight on with the brass. And here it comes. I'm going to base from a different angle now. But what I want to do is match my originals in terms of colour tone. So I think from the point of view of colour tone, we're pretty consistent there. There's not much more needed. All right, so I think we've got it. Next, I'm going to pick out this piece. So these are done. These go to one side. These can start to dry. These can go over here. Let's pop them to one side. Harm to put the lid on that. Don't want that all over the work surface. So this bit here, I'm going to pick out this. You can see my my latex coat starting to come off. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to find my stencil. Just got a fire hazard symbol on it. I'm going to pop this over here. It's going to be difficult to get it to center, but I'm going to give it my best shot. Let me get my fire. I'm going to try and get this in. Okay, probably close enough. So now I want to look at the other pieces that I've got. So some of these are not quite dry yet. Some of them are. Like this one. This one's nearly dry. So let's start masking these up. This end's certainly dry enough to start masking. So what I'm going to do, so I'm going to take my stickers. I'm going to pop these down in place. So let's put a square there. Let's put a rectangle there. And let's put down a series of these pieces which are very much more rectangular. I'd love to get some pieces cut which are a bit longer, which would let me extend some of these lines nicely. And we need one more the same thickness. Let's see if we can find it. Okay, that's looking good. Okay, here, I'm just gonna cut this in half. Got some scissors here. So, there we go. Do that by eye. One there. And one there. Missed that one. Just bring it around a fraction. So as you can see, the masking is the toughest bit. It's the bit actually that makes or breaks the whole thing. I need to move that back a bit to there. Try and get it looking consistent. There we go. Right. So these two are ready to go. So I'm going to spray them. Grab the mineral brass and scissors out of the way and go to it. Put in some spray. So what we're finding is that this this hatching's coming through too strong. I'm just going to dull it with a bit of the Mechanicus grey, like so. Bit of the Craig blue, like so. Tiny bit of Death Guard green. Just take the edge off some of it. Now hit it back with the mineral brass. Otherwise that was going to take too much mineral brass to make it all happen. There we go. Let's just pop round here, hit it from the outside. There you go. Right, I'm going to leave that for a bit. Make sure we're matching. Maybe put a bit too much on there, but never mind. We'll come back with less next time. Just going to move these, myself a bit more room. Okay, see if we can find another one to mask up. So this one's ready. This one's ready. And this one. Yep. It's looking good. Yep. Good. Quite definitely this one. Definitely this one. So let's see what we can find here. So we've got these great big bold rectangles here. So let's see if we can pop these here. This is going to look quite smart, I think. Should we get them on square though? Masking's got to be the hardest part of all of this. Get the masking right. The rest of it, easy. I wonder if this will go in the middle, like this. Hard to know if it's centered. So yeah, it's going to be tricky. We know where we are now. Is that it? Bend it round a bit. There we go. That's good. Right. Put that to one side. That's ready to go. I'm going to put a couple of those on here. So we're going to put one there. We're going to put one there. And move that to one side. Those two are good. Are you ready to go? This one. We're going to see if these squares will work. I think they will. I think we can probably put one and line it up with this edge. And line it up there like so. And then I'm going to get another of these squares. I'm going to mirror it. I'm going to line it up there. Try and get it symmetrical. There we go. We'll try and put some of those straight pieces on here. I need to cut some more of them. Okay, so go here, like so. Maybe we'll just leave it like that. So now we've got this one. So I think here, what we want to do is we want to go as central as possible. So there. I'm going to put a few of these right across this. Glad I had a sheet just we're running out. See if we can get that the same distance. It's not easy. Beyond that, about yeah. Okay, there we go. Something like that. And I wonder if there's any merit in maybe cutting one of those in half. Again, we've got some here. And you put one here. And get it the same distance, same spacing. And one here on the other side. Okay, that's good. But this one, definitely going to look good with a couple of these big bold rectangles. So we'll put a rectangle there. We'll put a rectangle in here. I think we extend that a tiny bit, like so. Tear that down. This is important to get it nice and neat. Equal spacing. There we go. That looks nice. And then gonna pop a square on there. That's gonna work well. Tuck it into that corner like that. Tuck another square on there. Just like so. There we are. So that one's done. This one could do with and oblong there. And we want a couple of oblongs on these. So let's pop that one there in line with those events. This one, I'll cut that back a tiny bit. So there. Okay, so that one's good. I just want to do this one and this one. The rest of them are ready to go with the Rune Lord brass. As soon as we've hit these with the Rune Lord brass, we're going to be able to start peeling the masters back and see where we're at with everything. So let's take a look. We're going to trim a couple of these like this. Try and get them in the center. Okay, so let's hop these here. And here. And do the same on the other side. Try and match it exactly. Maybe put this here. Help me line it up. There we go. Will do. This side, same thing. Line up in there. Yeah. Okay. Good. I have run out of those, so I'm just gonna cut in half. So these are much shorter pieces, so I'm going to be happy with a short piece there and a short piece other side. Just try and match this distance just there. Okay, ready for the Rune Lord brass. So let's use these stencils. Let's go for it. Hands into shot for you. So, like last time, we're going to put a bit of this on first. Left grey. No, Mechanicus grey. Just to take some of the hatching effect back a little bit. Or around the other side. It's not too bad. Let's put a bit of the blue. There you go. Back on with a little bit of this. And then a little bit of the step on green, and we'll put this from the other side. There we go, that's enough. Don't want to overdo it. And once again, I want to try and match what we did here. There's actually a little bit less Rune Lord brass than I thought. So let me see what I can do. How we're looking. Is that about it? Tiny bit more in a couple of places. Will do. Okay, I'm going to move those to one side and let's start peeling back the original pieces which we sprayed. Okay, bring these into shot. And let's move these to one side. Okay. Okay. So the best way to get this off is with some tape. I didn't bring my gaffer tape through here, but we'll start with some masking tape, see how we get on. Okay. You can see we've got some pretty cool effects. Okay, well we go. Looking good. You see quite a bit of latex here on these. When I angle it against the light, that's going to come off quite easily. So there you go, bit of damage on that one. Looking quite smart again. Again, I can see some damage here. It's going to come out quite easily. And where we've slicked it on, we've got those great little pits and bits which look as if they're stone chipped or weathered. Quite like this one. I know we went in quite bold with this on this one with the latex, but I think that's come out quite nicely. It's great to see that diagonal across the veins. Here we've got our biohazard symbol, which I agree it hasn't come out in the center and it hasn't come out very well. I can see a bit of latex here, so there's going to be a bit of damage around this. So let's see what it looks like when we take that off. So I think you'll agree we're going to get away with that, because there's so much damage on this piece that we can't really see what was going on there when it was brand new. Now got a bit of latex inside there. I'll try and get it out with some tape. There we go. So we've got a couple of the pieces here which are masked up. Okay, so we've got some hatching under here which I'm now going to reveal. Just we're in shot there. Yeah, that's good. Okay, see what we've got under here. We carefully take these back, and because we put the damage on, the damage coat, after we'd sprayed the initial undercoat, before we sprayed the white, what we're now seeing is the damage is coming through the hatching quite effectively. So we can see where the hatching is. There's actually stone chips and damage coming through that, and that's quite a realistic effect. It's going to take a bit of time to tick all the chips off some of these, but I think you can see how some of these areas have got quite a bit of damage coming through, and how effective that looks in places. These in. These off. So we've got our little bits of hatching, and now going to see our stone chips and our bits of latex which are wearing off. Catch and then back, line these up nice and tight so you can see the overall effect. So you can get really hung up on how good or bad this has come out. I mean, look at this bit. This doesn't have enough Rune Lord brass here, but I'm not worried. This is gonna work out fine. This piece has got enough paint on it. So let's just pop these masks up here, here, and here. There we go. And now we can see where we've got your latex to peel, which I'm just going to do quickly. The Rune Lord brass feels a bit soft still, so I'm going to do it with some masking tape instead. There we go. You can see that. Okay, and all right. Right, next one. Yep, it's looking a bit dull. What are we doing here? One's one of our originals. It's all right. I guess I could just pop a tiny bit more Rune Lord brass on some of those. It's feeling a little bit too dark. This one, we're just going to go for it here. It feels a bit soft still. Probably shouldn't be peeling this off yet. Never mind. There we go. So that's starting to look the part. This is one of our originals. I think you can see, and I spent ages on these, about 5 times as long. And as you can see, the effect is just the same. I mean, there's hardly any difference. Right, I'm going to be very careful how I peel this. Okay, here we go. There's quite a lot of damage under this one. There's some good happy accidents where the black didn't go through very effectively. It's actually created this very, very poorly masked, poorly painted area of hazard striping, which actually I'm really liking. I'm feeling a little bit soft, this paint, so should probably not be trying to do it this quickly, but I do want to try and achieve this in one take, like I said. Okay, we go a bit further here. I can feel a bit of latex just here in this section. So let's see what we can do here. There we go. That's not too bad, is it? So move these up. And if you brought the hairdryer through to warm these up, we'd have had this done even quicker. So here's my hazard striping appearing. You can see as I take the hazard striping off, I've got the latexing coming off, which is kind of fine. It's what I want, what I expected. See what else we've got. Another one here. Again, as soon as I take that off, we're seeing the latex move. I mean, in places, I'm guessing the latex is in actual fact not even properly set, which kind of hasn't made much difference to the overall effect of everything. I've got a sticker here. Yep, I've got one here. There we go. Yeah, crikey, that's taken everything off. Mind. So there we go. Right, that's looking good. So I'm going to do something with this. I've got a stencil which I can use to do something there. I'm going to show you that in a sec. Let's get these stencils off, these masks off here. So there's a section there. There's a section there. And this is the last one that's got anything on it. So I've got a white space there. I've got a hazard stripe there. I've got a hazard stripe here. And I've got one more here. Okay, so now I've got couple of stencils I haven't used yet. One of them in particular, which I'm looking for, has got an arrow on it. See if we can find it. Okay. So here, I'm going to use this arrow on this piece. So let's just make sure we go, and it's good. Okay, do the race paint. That held down as hard as I can, and quite mixed. And this needs to be quite a thin paste, quite a thin coat, otherwise it's going to boil. There we go. That's not bad. Something there maybe. So about an arrow, but this time in a kind of a blue colour. Let's see, we could do it with that, or we could do it with the McCrag blue. We're not going to spray it too well. So if we put it there, there we go, good enough. Okay, so something on this. Okay, we use our fire hazard symbol again. See if we can get it to center this time. So if I make a tiny mark, center, there we go. And we want the black. There we go. Place to the center this time. Much better. Okay, all I'm left to do now is take a little bit more of this, latex off, and start to peel it back from some of these pieces. There'll still be a little bit more to do. I think I probably want to wait for the paint to harden a little bit more, or it's going to do a little bit too much damage. Okay, let's line these up, see if we can see the difference between the ones that took a very long time to paint and these ones which I've just speed painted. So let's turn this one and in there. Okay, so it's got a different colour. Let's take this one. Arrange these so we can feel what's going on. Okay, ready to go. See if I can see what we can see. Yep, there we go. Laid it out. So I'm pretty happy with that. Bearing in mind it took me a fraction of the time it took to paint the proof of concept. And when you bear in mind you've got a whole table of these, you don't need to spend forever painting them. If you managed to watch through that, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate all the feedback, all the comments that people give me. So please don't hesitate, ask any questions. Please like and subscribe, and I'll be doing a lot more of this over the next few weeks as I paint the rest of this 30k table. Thanks very much.